Are you guys ready for another reaction video? We're going to be talking about Fenugreek and Cassia. We're going to be looking at how Doro used it, and we're going to kind of dive into it, and I'm going to break down all the parts of this mask that she used. She used the Fenugreek first, and then we're going to do the Cassia next. And welcome to the Hennasooq channel. My name is Khadija. I'm a leading expert in henna hair color, Ayurvedic healthy hair care, and the founder of this amazing brand, Hennasooq. And I am so excited that you're here. We're gonna dive into these really great herbs, like staples. These are like basic herbs that you should have in your hair regimen. If you're thinking about Ayurvedic hair care, these are herbs that you definitely need to have in your regimen. So let's get into it.
For today's challenge, I'm going to apply fenugreek seeds on my hair for the next 7 days to see what happens. Yeah. So make sure to like this video.
And because it is day one, let me show you how to make this and how to apply it. So when it comes to making fenugreek paste, all you're gonna do first is to soak overnight half a cup of organic fenugreek seeds with 2 cups of warm water. Next day, blend the fenugreek water, including the seeds, with 1 cup of milk.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen anyone do that yet. This is my first time seeing someone soak the seeds, not in an oil infusion, but really literally blending the whole thing together. Very interesting. I personally think that the powder would definitely be way easier and quicker, but it's cool. I love seeing definitely how people use it and how they're creative with their mixes.
Now that you have this super heavy paste, hold on, make sure to strain it with a cheesecloth so that you can get this smooth, clean paste. And also this helps to avoid fenugreek beads on your hair afterwards.
I am not storing this. I'm actually making this
every single day.
Alright, this is how I'm gonna apply this fenugreek paste on my hair every day.
So she can do it every day, and if she wants to blend it every day, she can do that. What I would suggest, might be a little bit of a hack, is to freeze the batches that you want to use. Every day, I don't think it's necessary for everyone, but you're gonna have to gauge definitely what your hair likes the most. I would say save those things for your wash day, and whatever your wash day routine is, fenugreek would be a great addition to that regimen, or every other week, or every other few days, wherever it is, just having a nice rotation. But you can freeze batches actually, like as if you're cooking for the week. You'll have a bunch of batches ready for you to use whenever you want to.
I advise you not to do that.
First step will be massaging the scalp for 2 minutes to increase the blood flow so that we can prepare the scalp for the treatment.
You probably already know.
Now that your hair is tangled, next will be detangling.
From the bottom to the top using a white tooth comb.
After this, divide your hair in 2 main sections in this way.
You don't need to use this type of application. No. You can apply this with a paddle applicator, with your hands. It doesn't matter. Just apply.
Anyways, every time you apply some fenugreek paste, make sure to massage it into your hair using a gentle up-down motion to ensure full coverage.
So the next step is to wrap your hair with a plastic cap and a microfiber towel. We're gonna set the timer for 1 hour. We're only gonna rinse this off with water. No shampoo, no conditioner.
Alright.
Just gotta do this for day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, 6, 7. And if you wanna go 8.
Sure. Alright.
Hey guys, it is day 2. I'm actually loving how my hair looks right now. It's insane. Look at the shine. The only thing that I'm not loving is how smelly it is. It smells so bad.
I don't think fenugreek smells bad though. It smells kind of like maple syrup, but not every herb is for everyone. Quick fix, look at this. Essential oils, just a little bit of essential oils. Like a really small amount goes a long way, and it'll make your hair smell amazing.
Feels and smells. I was expecting to smell like sweet, cheap maple syrup. No, it's just a really bitter, strong smell. Like a
dead cockroach?
You can see my fingers there trying to get as much as I could. So I always keep this bowl under me just to prevent more messy stuff. The main one, oh yeah. It is day 3. The paste it's liquid now. Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Literally feels like I shampoo last night. Are you serious about this? It's in my ear. Basically, that's how clean my scalp and my hair looks right now. Very nice.
Cheers.
I noticed that when it starts to dry,
I become Christmas.
flakes of fenugreek all over the place. It's like, try not to swallow the fenugreek residue. It's a beautiful thing to see. We are on day 4. My hair is not a single bit oily. Listen. I don't feel like it has gained any volume or that it has gained a thickness. We're getting there. If I touch my ponytail, it just feels like the 4 strands that I already had.
You know?
Yeah, like fenugreek is great for promoting hair growth and for the moisture. That's how I feel that it works like the best. For thickness, a tip that you could all do if you're looking for thicker hair strands, more volume and more just that oomph to your hair and your curls, in general, I would say Zysivus powder needs to be in this recipe. And we have a bunch on the Hennasooq YouTube channel.
But it does feel very, very soft. Yes. It hasn't lost any shine. And stinks.
A few moments later.
It's beautiful. I gotta go. Hello, we are on day 5. How do I go from my hair is not a single bit oily
Wow.
to the oiliest person in the block? Besides that, my hair texture is very soft and smooth, and as you can see, it is very shiny.
In Greece?
New profiles unlocked. Let me show you the mess. You're welcome. Not that messy, it's not so bad. I did wash my microfiber towel because yesterday it smelled like pure puke. I don't feel proud about it.
But it's the true truth.
Still smells like puke. Oh. Alright, I'm gonna go shower.
Oh no, every time people say how bad it smells, I'm like, wow, nobody's gonna want to use Ayurvedic hair care. Add essential oils. I don't know if it's the quality or what, but I don't notice a really stinky smell from fenugreek, at least not the one we get. I don't know. It shouldn't smell like cockroaches and puke and dookie.
We are on day 6. Yeah!
Okay.
Even though my hair is really greasy, like the
Fried chicken?
it does feel very strong and healthy.
Because there's a lot of moisture. I'm just wondering, because her hair is so amazing, so gorgeous, but there's no real cleansing herb involved in there. Like fenugreek is not really a cleansing herb. So her results are kind of on point right now. Like this is what you should expect, but we don't have to settle, because when you're formulating a mask, you know, you really need to choose ingredients of like a complete treatment that you want to achieve. Some cleansing, some moisture, you know, promoting hair growth, whatever it is. That's why I like to keep my recipes pretty simple, because then you get, you know, your focus down pat. That's how I kind of feel about it. That's kind of my approach.
Really? But it's not thick, it doesn't have volume, it's all the opposite. It's a very, very flat. At this point, I literally don't smell the fenugreek, you know? I don't know. Other people do?
Ew.
Me? No.
1 hour later.
I feel like today I did a better job with the water rinse. Look the shine in my hair.
Sorry.
I feel like tomorrow
I might not be that greasy.
Can't believe I get to wash my hair with shampoo today.
we are on day 7. I have a feeling in my Pikachu heart that this smell is gonna stay with me for a while. You know, with past experiences, probably about 2 weeks.
A month?
Sounds quite correct. As you guys can see, my scalp is very clean. It has no dandruff. My hair feels very strong.
Yeah.
It tangles very easily. It was very interesting to see that the first 3 days, my hair was not dry or greasy. It looked amazing. The next day, I go all the way to the greasy side. And I stayed in that way until the end. It looks so mean. Oh, so cute.
When I started this Fenugreek challenge, I wanted to test Fenugreek in terms of hair growth and hair loss. In terms of hair growth, we measured my hair on day 1 to compare it with day 7, and this is how much hair I grew in a week with Fenugreek, a quarter. Now, in terms of Fenugreek reducing hair loss in a week, what I did was collect every single hair strand that I lost during the application and washing process to compare them at the end. So looking at the pictures, I can actually see a slightly positive improvement in this area. When it comes to hair appearance, this is what happened. I am very impressed by how shiny, bouncy, silky, and nourished my hair was left after trying this Fenugreek challenge. I think this is quite safe to use it twice a week as a deep conditioning hair mask or as I did in this challenge. One more thing. My hair still smells like Fenugreek even after shampoo, just letting you know.
That was pretty interesting. So I think that her results were on point, because Fenugreek is very moisturizing. It adds a lot of shine and promotes hair growth. That's the main focus of Fenugreek for the most part. And if she wanted to be a little bit more cleansing during this challenge, she could also add Cassia. But the point of a challenge is to figure out what your hair likes and how it reacts and behaves. So then that way you can make these adjustments. And that's why we do hair challenges, so that we can, really, press ourselves to try something new and different and like see what happens. So that was on point. I really liked that. I thought that was pretty cool that she did that and tried it out and shared that with us. Could have been less messy, maybe like not pouring it, but just trying to scoop it from a bowl and apply it. But whatever works, for you, but that was a fun video. And I am going to also be getting into her next video on using Cassia ovata and how she used it with all that long, gorgeous, luscious hair. Oh, I cannot wait to see how it came out. That's amazing. I'm excited to see that. So let's get into it.
Today's video, I'm going to show you how to use colorless henna properly so that your hair looks strong and thick and not dry and stiff. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and let's make some henna. So for this treatment, I'm going to use Cassia, which is a neutral henna that provides the same hair benefits as regular henna but without coloring the hair. So when you get your neutral henna, make sure that it's labeled organic, pure, free of chemicals, pesticides.
Yes, definitely all of the above. But that's where people get so confused about henna. When we start labeling henna like different colors or different tones or different, in a way, like it makes sense when you just hear it. You think like black henna, brown henna. So it's like henna with other herbs can help you achieve those tones. Cassia ovata is a completely different plant. It is not henna whatsoever. It's not, it's a plant, its own plant. And Cassia ovata, and there's different types of cassia too, by the way, which you can look at different videos that I have on YouTube to explain that further if you just look up cassia, so you get more information on that. But the cassia basically, yes, has a lot of benefits that are similar to henna. What I've learned over the years is that it definitely is very cleansing as well. If you're mixing up cassia, you might notice sometimes it gets little like bubbles in a way, like little, like it's just a little different, and it definitely smells a little bit different. Yeah, it's really great for your hair though. So let's see how she used it and what she thought.
Pesticides and preservatives, and since we're using pure powder, Cassia
ovata
should be the only ingredient listed in there. Now it is time to prepare the henna paste. So following the instructions, there isn't a specific amount of cassia powder that we're gonna require to mix based on the length of your hair. So as you can see, I'm supposed to mix about 400 to 500 grams of neutral henna, which is what I did, and it ended up being a little too much for my hair. So I will suggest you to base it not only on your hair length, also on the density of your hair to reduce wasting powder unnecessary.
And if you were sitting there wondering, well, how do you figure out how much to use? Guess what? I got a blog post for you right on Hennasooq.com. We are going to link it and tag it. All you have to do is go to the blog and you will find out exactly how much you need to use for any henna, any Ayurvedic herb, because it's all the same quantity based on your hair length and thickness as well of your hair, meaning how much hair do you have, not the individual strand, but how much actual hair you have, because sometimes people have may have all shoulder length hair, but the amount of hair that they actually have on their head varies. So that's why it's important to go by the guide that I have created, so that way you know exactly how much to use. Good thing, if you by chance make extra, you can put it in the freezer and use it next time. Just make sure you mark your bags.
We're gonna warm up some water and now carefully add in small amounts of the warm water to the powder. Stir every time you do this and repeat this process until the henna powder turns into a pancake batter consistency. By the way,
I'm not sure what she's about to say, but I know what I'm about to say is that I don't know if that bowl might overflow a little bit, like a little tiny bit, a little bit.
make sure to use warm water during this process, since room temperature water won't end up mixing well with the henna powder. And if your paste turns too watery, just add tiny amounts of henna powder until you reach the ideal consistency, which is not watery, but it runs a little bit, so it will be easy to spread on the hair.
Really good tips. I like her tips, definitely. Has she been watching our videos? And I see that she's about to put a timer on. So Cassia, I'm gonna just jump in there, but Cassia doesn't necessarily need to sit. It doesn't really need to sit. It's ready pretty quick. The only reason I might want it to sit is to let like the little lumps sometimes dissolve a little bit more, because as it sits it kind of starts to like break down. But you could use a hand blender and you can ready to use it basically. The only other exception though is if you are letting it sit, is because maybe you also want to get out that little bit of golden tone that Cassia Bovada gives that boost in golden tones. Then you definitely want to let it sit for a few hours so you could pull out that color. But your recipe will really kind of different as well. And so you may want to watch our other videos we have with Cassia, looking to pull out more of that golden tone and those type of recipes. And mind you, it's not going to make your hair lighter if your hair is dark. It works on grays and it will work on like light hair tones like blonde.
Now set your timer for 2 hours to let the paste sit before application. It's been 2 hours now, so the henna paste should be ready for application. So when it comes to the application technique, this is what I learned during this process.
Just be mentally ready to be very messy.
To get your hair well coated with neutral henna, make sure to start with untangled hair and then divide your hair in the smallest sections as possible. The more hair you have, the more you want to section your hair. Trust me. Now put on some gloves and start applying the henna section by section from roots to ends.
I'm thinking the same too.
To make sure that most of your hair is coated with this green stuff, I have to warn you that once the henna touches your hair, it's nearly impossible to get through the inner parts of your hair. So that's why sectioning the hair in the smallest sections as possible will ensure an even coating and better results in terms of hair feeling stronger and thicker. When you spread the henna on your strands, avoid doing a combing motion. Instead, use your palms in this way to reduce pulling your hair, which can be very painful, especially when you have henna on. And by the way, do your best to keep the clean sections of your hair away from touching the other sections that are already coated with henna, because they will stick to each other and it will be painful too.
I wanted to make a note here of what I did find when hair is dry. Personally, and especially someone who has a lot of hair, I usually like to recommend that they pre-wash their hair. In general, all of you should probably be pre-washing your hair if needed. If you're making a Cassia cleansing recipe, that's a little bit of a different topic. Definitely we can get deeper into that. If you definitely are interested in that, comment below and let me know. But I was gonna say, when your hair is dry, it does tend to like, the hair is kind of like, I don't know, they get attracted to clinging to each other, and it kind of makes it more difficult to like apply. So I recommend you apply onto damp hair strands. If you're not cleansing or you already pre-pooed or whatever, leave your hair damp or spritz it. Just get some slip on those hair strands.
Henna contains 0 protein in it, meaning that it is not a protein treatment, but is kind of similar. It is considered more as a preventive hair treatment that will strengthen, thicken, and ultimately condition any type of hair. And the way henna does this is due to its ability to bond with protein that will clinch vigorously to the hair strands, making your hair feeling and looking more thick, lustrous, and shiny for weeks if it's used properly and with discretion. Also, Cassia is supposed to be less prone to dry hair than normal henna, so it is a good alternative to use if your hair tends to dry easily when you use this type of treatments.
I want everyone to start practicing not using the word henna to describe herbs that are not henna. So when we're talking about herbal hair care, aka Ayurvedic hair care, then let's start using that term because people still get confused. This is a video from 2021. And we really got to break that cycle. Like, cassia is not henna, and henna is not cassia. And henna is not black, and all these other things that just lead to confusion and the lack of empowerment of knowing, like spreading that knowledge of what we're actually using is what I mean to say. So if you have to use a term, you say cassia is either not like henna or it's a different kind of Ayurvedic herb. So I definitely agree with some of these points that she's bringing up. Henna, since it's a video about cassia, it's not about henna. So if you want to know more about henna, definitely check out our other videos at Hennasooq. We have tons of videos about henna and protein and how to make it less dry and all the good stuff.
Now that your hair is fully coated in cassia,
Don't.
instructions suggest to wrap the hair with a shower cap and then you're gonna let it sit on your hair for a minimum of 2 hours, maximum 3 hours before rinsing it off to give the henna enough time to bind with your hair.
Time is up.
Shout out, just wanted to say, if you guys need to get a cape, then I got a link for you below. There is a black cape that you guys can use when you're doing your hair. It is amazing at making sure that you don't have dry henna and crumbs all over your neck and all over your shirts. You know, the cape will save the day. And you just clip it off, throw it in the washing machine, and you're good to go, you know. So yeah, just because it's really annoying to get like dry bits of Ayurvedic herbs off your skin. It just kind of like, oh my god, it's just annoying.
After 2 hours, it is time to rinse the neutral henna off. Instructions suggest to avoid shampoo for the best results, so we're only gonna do the wash with water. However, knowing how to rinse the henna properly will help you to avoid extreme dry hair and buildup.
I do want to say, those of you trying to use any of the Ayurvedic herbs on your edges, if you allow it to dry out the way that it looks like in the video, it could cause hair breakage. So try not to let that dry out. Steam, heat, spritz. Make sure that you are really doing a gentle manipulation. And that is especially so for my girls with fine or delicate hair strands. Be very careful with your edges and your hair. Don't be letting it dry out. Dry mud, just imagine dry mud on your hair and like trying to get that out. It's like, look at all that manipulation on your hair. And if you had baby hairs, those might be gone. And I've had clients recently even mention that they had a lot of hair breakage, so just be very careful.
And please do me a favor of not taking your shower cover off because it's literally stick to your hair. So to soften the henna in general, you need to do this rinse with warm water. After a few seconds, you'll feel how slowly it begins to soften. So now remove the shower cap carefully and make sure to stay under the shower string for 2 minutes to loosen up the henna from the hair as much as possible. After this, it is very important to keep hair very moisturized while using henna, so we're gonna follow up with a conditioner or a deep conditioning hair mask.
So it's hard to really then say how the cassia behaved on the hair if you immediately do a deep conditioning treatment, because then you're gonna see how the deep conditioner worked. I don't know if you're really going to see just alone how the cassia is gonna work, but definitely if you need moisture, your cassia, obovada, all of your Ayurvedic herbs, like that fenugreek that we just looked at, that should have been in that recipe. With the cassia, fenugreek, ooh, that would have been a nice mask. Definitely. And then you would have seen like, okay, is this cassia and fenugreek combination good? Or is this cassia alone good? What was the results? Like when it comes to trying new steps, you definitely got to give that trial and error period, you know, to kind of figure out like, is it working well the way I want? If you already know your hair is dry though, I wouldn't tell you to attempt to just like go straight all like cassia and just, you know, straight henna. Obviously I want you to moisturize as well. So it's just about balancing that out. When you're using cassia, if you happen to do it, the deep conditioning afterwards is fine. It's just, how are we really gonna know how the cassia turned out so much because you're deep conditioning right away? I feel like the deep conditioner will be what you will see the most of. kind of in a way. It's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know if you guys agree with me. Let me know in the comments below. You know, let's have a conversation about that. And then side note, when it comes to henna, for hair color specifically, we don't decondition because we don't want to pull out any of the colors. So again, the information is getting crossed. It gets so confusing. You're watching a video and you're like, oh my gosh. Guys, I implore you to cross-reference everything with us if you can. When we build out our new website, oh my goodness, we are going to have resources, questions answered to a whole nother level. You guys are going to be happy. You're going to be happy. Just wait.
Apply from middle to ends in this way and let it sit for 10 minutes. When time is up, do the final water rinse until the water coming out of your hair is completely clear. You'll see how using conditioner will not only make your hair super soft at the end, will also help you to fully remove whatever residue of the henna remains in your hair. After shower, towel dry your hair and follow up with a protein-free leave-in conditioner or a moisturizing hair oil to avoid dry, brittle, stiff hair. And once you are ready to go to bed, do a loose braid to keep hair protected. Also helps to lock the hydration in your hair during the night.
The good thing is that my hair is still black.
Well, I mean, it should still be black. Cassia, as she mentioned, it's neutral, right? It's neutral, so that you won't color your hair, especially when your hair is dark like this.
So here are my next day results from using neutral henna. As someone with fine hair, I can definitely feel a massive difference in the texture of my hair that I never felt before. Not only feels very strong, legit feels thicker compared to yesterday, and it's sort of heavy that I was having trouble doing these B-roll waves that I normally do. Also, it was impressive to see how well my hair was able to form and hold these waves made from the braid, which is something that my hair type it's not able to do, and it speaks a lot about the power of henna in transforming hair into a better version that is more strong, shiny, and healthy. Even though I'm thrilled about my results, I noticed that some parts of my hair felt thicker than others. So this kind of tells me that the higher the porosity on your hair, the more you'll benefit with a treatment like this. Now, in terms of use, you can apply neutral henna every 1 to 2 weeks. However, overdoing this can interfere with your hair's ability to retain moisture, which could destroy your hair. So in my opinion, once a month is a good amount to keep strands full and looking fabulous. And don't forget that once your hair is henna treated, you need to deep conditioning at least once a week.
I love my waves.
I am very happy about these results.
That was amazing. Oh my goodness. I love doing reaction videos because it's just so much fun. I love seeing how people are doing things, trying and being creative, and sharing their journey with you for sure. So Cassia Bavada, yes, that is the good stuff. So I love how her hair came out. I thought it did have, I definitely noticed the way that it held a lot of the waves and just her hair from the fenugreek to like the cassia. Could you guys see the difference? It was really cool. I thought that was really neat, like just seeing how her hair was transforming. I don't believe that it will inhibit moisture. See, the thing is, when you're using, you know, Ayurvedic herbs and you're not balancing them out with the moisture that your hair needs, then it's not really inhibiting moisture. It just means that you're not giving your hair any moisture. So you're constantly taking away moisture, but not really compensating for that moisture. So that's the thing. Like you can overuse, you know, Ayurvedic herbs when you're using, let's say you decide to do, you know, shikakai even, or cassia, you know, if you're doing that so often without any other herb to balance that moisture or give it a little bit of, you know, what it needs, then kind of, you know, it's going to start feeling really dry. And it'll be, yeah, it's just, you have to balance it out. So if you're looking for really good recipes with fenugreek and Cassia Bovada and more, I definitely have a ton of videos right here on the Hennasooq channel that you guys are absolutely going to love. And you know, I have more coming, I always do. We're dropping new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and I hope that you guys have been loving it. Don't forget, if you have any special requests, I want to hear about them. So don't forget to post all of your comments down below. Don't miss out. You gotta subscribe because I'm always on here telling you guys the absolute latest. So you don't want to miss out. So hit that notification bell and just keep spreading this henna love. You know, I love it. And I will see you next time. Bye.